okay, maybe this is one of those things that I should have listened to my mom when she said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I'm telling you right now, I'm tired of church people. They're on YouTube, and they're the biggest hypocrites, and so nothing has changed. I know the comedians like to make complete fun of them all the time. And, you know, it's like, I'm sitting here being nice, feeling like I'm relating to this person, and then next thing you know, they're like, I just want to talk about God. And so I'm just thinking, okay, well, we were having decent conversations the past couple days before, and then she ties into this woman, she's sitting there in the hood, and she ties into about that she bets I haven't repented and this and that. So she goes in for her jugular kill in on me, I guess, you know, because she showed back up again. And so she goes in on me and talking about, I bet you haven't repented and given yourself over and turned everything over to God. And I'm just thinking, now wait a minute. So I was sharing things with her because someone asked the woman about her drug problem. They said she had some kind of drug problem or something like that, and that she was on parole and sitting there with her grandkids and stuff like that. And so I was talking about, I was just talking about things related to my husband being physically abusive. And then she ties in on that, she's like, I bet you didn't press charges against him. And I'm like, she says, I bet you didn't show up to the court date. And I'm like, what court date? What charges? They never... they know that the abuse happened. You know, I'm thinking, okay, I had proof that the abuse happened. And so she's like, oh, you'd rather call the police than give it over to God. And so it's almost like, because she said herself, she's like, I've got my sons. You know, so it's kind of like she is implying and saying that she has her sons to deal with things for her. So it's almost like she's calling her sons God. She's like, you need to give it over to God and let God handle it. So it's like she's calling her sons God. That's what I was hearing from her, that she was calling her sons God as she's sitting there in the street. And so it's almost like there's some double speak that was taking place related to what she was talking about. And you know, because she was saying something about that she was paid one time, or something about the therapy videos or something. So she was doing all this stuff. And so I don't know, maybe she's one of those who just doesn't want anybody watching her, because I know there's a lot of people like that. They're getting paid on YouTube, but they just don't want anybody watching them because they know that they get mad at those of us who are seasoned YouTubers who actually try to have a conversation. And that's all I was doing with her, was trying to have a conversation. But if we go in, if it's the same person every day, they don't like that. They don't like to have the same person come in. Now me, I always like to have the same people who are decent. You know, now, I mean, the thing is like, I don't get a lot of people who are decent. They're from foreign countries, and they just are always trying to do stupid stuff, like try to pick me up, and they want to see what I look like and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't, you know, I want mature people who want to have a conversation, not people who are just being all stupid all the time. I can tolerate the kids. Yes, I make content that is juvenile at times. I know I do. And so that's someplace else. But when I'm doing a live stream, I always thought it would be great to have someone who's an adult. And I've never really gotten that. I haven't. I've never really gotten an adult conversation out of when I've been doing the live chats. And I don't mean adult, I just mean an adult conversation of a back and forth with a person who's acting like an adult. I don't mean adult as in the P word, you know, pornography. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who's an adult And so anyway, but she was carrying on. I mean, and this was about God, and it's like, okay, you guys are showing your true colors again. The hypocritic nature of that. She didn't. I just left her live stream. That's what I did. I went and unsubscribed from her because I thought if it means that much to her, if I cause her that much pain, that I can't have a conversation with her, or something that I said to her caused her pain, I'll just leave. I mean, that's how I am. I'll just leave. I'll just graciously leave and not bother her, because she made it clear. She says, I don't want to talk about anything on this channel but God. So I don't know, maybe she had a conversation with some other guy or something, because I noticed that on a lot of these channels, it's like there's someone coaching some of them. Because I was watching another one last night of some guy who was watching Darman or something, and sometimes it seems like there's someone else coaching them from off to the side. And some of them that they'll tell them to not speak to someone, to speak to, and not to speak and not answer certain questions. So it's like there's some coaching that's going on in addition to certain things. So they're trying to stay on one topic only, even though it's really hard. And so she's tied into me, and she's like, I don't have the energy for you. And it's like, well, I don't have the energy for you either, because the thing is, church becomes an energy sucker for me. Church becomes an energy sucker with people like her. And when they're pushing all that stuff, then it just becomes an energy sucker. When I listen to them, asking if we've repented and given ourselves over to God, and we should let God handle things instead of calling the police, that set her off. When I told her that I would rather call the police, that set her off. And I didn't say anything about anything related to, I just said ex-husband. And so it seemed to set her off when I said I'd rather call the police than turn it over to God. So then it sounds to me like she is someone who would rather turn a crime over to God. When she knows a crime happened and took place, she would rather turn the crime over to God than actually call the police. That's what I was hearing from her. And so, yeah. So what's kind of funny though, I guess I thought people would be upset about, I thought they would be upset about, I'm not turning my camera on. Why do you need me to turn my camera on? I do have a camera, yes, and I had another YouTube channel, and I do know how to use my camera. I have used it before, and I'm not dealing with you people and the stupid stuff you do, because you're mean. A lot of you are mean when it comes to people who are on YouTube with the things that you do. And so I don't know why I have to have a camera to begin with. The first trap chat. What are you talking about, first trap chat? I don't know what that is. It's just like I keep getting the same people. Okay, okay, Kaylin, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I want to have an open conversation, but, coming off that last one when I was in the chat with someone else, and it's like, I'm not someone to censor. I like the idea of having an open discussion about religion. I love talking about religion, but I'm not going to say you have to believe in God. I'm someone who feels like believing in God and church is a freedom of choice. And I will look at the things in the Bible with critical thinking, in that it's a relationship to the planet Earth and certain star signs and things like that from the past. And it's not an absolute that when I hear people talk about believing, having this relationship with God, the way some of them talk about it, they're so indoctrinated into it that they're still believing that thing, that there's like some big magical being that's going to do something for them. And then they're going on about talking about how you're going to get your reward after you go to church. That sounds like Sharia law to me. And a lot of people talk, Christianity here in the United States, that's Sharia law has filtered in, eye for an eye. I've talked about that with people. I'm not sure what you mean about chat. The first trap chat, I mean chat. I don't know what you mean about your first trap chat. I guess I don't know what that means. So I do good doing the shorts videos. Maybe I just need to stick to shorts and not do the lives, because if the lives, everybody's saying, oh, you got to do lives, Oh, no, we don't necessarily have to do live streams. I don't think, even though a lot of people swear by them, I don't think that we necessarily have to do live streams. I think I didn't mean trapped, but actually chat. Oh, you mean go back and do the chatting like I did earlier today when I killed my feed, and then I just let it stream for a while and then just chat back and forth in the chat like that? Because that's what I did earlier, is just I typed back and forth. So I just, my feed died for some reason, and then which it gets knocked off all the time, and then I just went back in and was chit-chatting, typing. I was typing back and forth. That's all I was doing. Why, you're the first one? What do you mean you're the first one to chat in the... Oh. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you were... If you're the first one, maybe are you the one who... I have no idea why. Kaylin, Polly. I was trying to figure out if there was anything... I don't know. Maybe there's something common with the title, or something that everybody used to write. You know what they used to write in chat? They used to write first all the time. That's what they would write. They used to write first all the time in chat at the beginning of YouTube. And then, and then it's like everybody saw that as, oh, your name is your name is TJ. I think that, okay, if you look at my last video that I made, your name is TJ. If you look at the last video I made, it was of, oh no, not the very last one. There was 2 or 3 of them. It's of the woman, and she has on kind of a skirt that's purple, bluish, and pink, and green. And the initials TJ actually are on the skirt. I'm wondering if that has to do with that. This is your mom's account. Yeah, that's everybody's saying that the same thing, that we've been getting a bunch of kids on YouTube and we're not supposed to be. And so they're all saying the same thing, unfortunately, because we're not supposed to be getting all these kids on YouTube. And so I'm not the only one who has been noticing this or addressing this issue, that we're getting a bunch of kids on YouTube. I have everything on my channel set for adults. It says mine it literally says over the age of 18, but yet YouTube in and of itself says 13, that kids over the age of 13 can be on YouTube. And then even if they use their parents' account, they can be younger than 13. And so, it's really hard just to have a conversation with just a bunch of kids. It's like, it's a mismatch. It doesn't make any sense to be sending a bunch of kids to adults when the adults really don't, what are we supposed to do with that? We can't have real conversations with people who are kind of our age. Now, I have been getting a bunch of video from people who are closer to my age on YouTube lately, and they're talking about things that are actually important. So what happens is that they speak from their heart, and they're talking about life's issues with aging. And these people feel like genuine people to me. They don't feel like they're actually the canned people or the therapy people. They actually feel like genuine people who have put a lot of thought into what they want to say, and also that they've actually had it happen in real life. And so there's a big difference between ones that are reading from a script, who are script therapists who share the same script over and over again, versus people who have actually had things happen. And there's a huge difference. And so and maybe some of it from how long are you going to be I don't know. Live on this camera. I don't know. Maybe I might be done here soon. Maybe I might go back on live maybe in a little bit. I'm not sure. But I'm probably going to end it here soon. But I just wanted to, I know the thing is, it's like with church, it's like there's church people who are even saying, oh, well, we want to do something different. This is what they're saying. There's a guy, and he's been saying that he calls himself he says he's not a priest, but he just calls himself an entertainment religious kind of a person. And so he basically is just making fun of people on YouTube. I don't know when I'm going to be watching, but I will subscribe to your channel. Thank you so much. Can you go live in the morning? Yes, I do. I do go live in the morning sometimes. Actually, I do. I think for the past week or two, I've gone live in the morning, at least for about 15 minutes or so. In the morning, talking about things. I'm just talking about things in my own life because I'm not paying attention to anything on TV because I don't believe any of it. I don't trust any of it right now. And I'm thinking if basically we have a monopoly with what comes out of Washington, D.C. So if it's coming out as just one person, if it's coming out of just one person out of Washington, D.C., why do we need 30 to 50 different outlets reporting on the same thing? The truth is we don't. We could just listen to C-SPAN. We don't need the other news outlets to be reporting on the same thing. So they lack creativity. They don't have any type of anything that's original, and they're just trying to influence voting. Now, there are a lot of people saying that right now they're like, well, who would you vote for? And, the thing I've said is, I don't know. I have no idea who they're going to put up, and I don't want to know. You saw someone live so long, I'm not even joking. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. They've done 12-hour lives. I can't do a 12-hour live that I know of, and I don't think I would want to because I would probably lose the connection. But what they've done is they set up another way for it to be live. So it's just like, I don't know if it's a robot that's taken over their channel. I have seen that since the beginning of YouTube, that there's people who had hooked their YouTube channels up into a robot to get views that way, and that's how they were originally getting views, was somehow they hook it up that way. You saw some, yeah, I see that too all the time. They have their the White House live camera, that's what it's called, is the White House live cam. It has actually been on for like 4 or 5 years. At 9 o'clock, I'm getting my phone taken away so I can't chat on my TV. Oh, okay. What do you mean chat on your TV? Like do you have it hooked up to a TV? Because, I know how you guys do that. You cast it up to your TV and then you probably see it that way. I'm kind of thinking, there's so many different ways that you can watch, but I don't have any of that. The only thing I have is my phone. I don't have anything else to chat with. I don't have anything else at all to chat with, actually. Just my phones is all I have. You have a high knees, Roku TV high knees. You have a Roku TV. I can't hook anything up to the TV because of the situation that I'm in, and I wouldn't want to because they have so much, it's like they play too many games, so with the TV here, so there's someone that's always messing around with it and shutting it off. And, I think they think they're being funny because then it gets someone from the front desk to have to go to the rooms, and there was one lady that's not here anymore. The car situation, what kind of situation? Oh, you're talking about the homelessness? Where people have been telling other people to live in their car in the midst of frying to death in your car. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, because there's been people doing that all across the internet and all across the charity organizations, and that's what they're telling people is to live in their car. If you don't have any family, just go live in your car. And that's supposed to be a solution for old people, because they want to play these word semantics games and say, oh, well, you're not homeless if you meet this criteria. Unless you're just completely out on the street, you're not homeless. And so there's so many other things that can happen to a person that has that can't get into places. So when I get my phone taken away for the night and can you go live in the morning, then keep going love live. I can't just keep going live. No, my channel, I can't do that because I'm not a robot. So I can't actually just keep going live because I'm not an artificial intelligence. I've been telling you guys that, even though a lot of people don't believe me and they think I am artificial intelligence. And so what I've said is that I get an assist from time to time from AI. So since the beginning of YouTube, I have always had an assist from YouTube. And when I say an assist, that means if it wasn't for artificial intelligence and the YouTube platform, content creators would not exist at all. So every content creator who's making money has a hand in artificial intelligence. Now, the thing I'm tired of is I hear them every day. This is even the church people too. They're like, well, we don't like artificial intelligence. We don't like the way things are right now. But yet they're on YouTube. They're demanding that people go back to real life. And I don't know what they're calling a real life, but they're demanding that people go back to real life and interact with people. They want how things were the way before. They want people to go back to church. They want people to interact and interact with people the way that things were before. And it's like, well, I mean, we've evolved into the internet and people are keeping themselves entertained with various means on phones and things now. And so I have an Android. I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android. I always liked Android. iPhone is too expensive. I've never had an iPhone because it's too expensive. And so, yeah. But the thing is, I think that there's some of the people doing it are out of the legacy media networks. I think some of the YouTube channels are actually set up live and that they're using legacy media. Your mom has a newer iPhone. Okay, that's nice that your mom, I'm sure you have a place to live too. Your iPhone is a 15.1 and you have an iPhone 14 Plus. I don't know what to do with that stuff, you know, because you must have, I mean, like, is that supposed to be advertising nowadays or something? Your mom hasn't, I mean, because, you know, I mean, it's like I don't get any advertising. I don't get any revenue or anything like that. But I know they're popular to talk about. I do know that, you know, so a lot of people just talk about advertising products just because they're popular. I get that. You know, I get that. You know, maybe that's what I should, oh, you know what would be fun? I could make an iPhone. Maybe I need to draw an iPhone. That could be interesting. I could draw an iPhone that dances or something like that, because I did write on my channel that I would like a suggestion of something to do next related to the AI thing and integration with the generative AI. And I'm thinking that could be fun. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll draw an iPhone. You have a cat? Yeah. Yeah, everybody has a cat. It seems like everybody and their brother. I do have a cat thing that I did. I drew a cat on a napkin, and then I made a video of it. The cat's doing some things. I just didn't make it public because I'm trying not to. I'm trying really hard to not flood the feed, you know, but the great thing is the more subscribers I get, the more videos I can release out, because then I'm not flooding. I get a larger percentage of my videos showing up the more subscribers I get. So I do get a larger percentage of my videos that I can put out, and then I can put out more videos a little bit more often and more frequently, and they'll get watched, which is kind of fun. And so I'm trying to just trickle them out so I'm not flooding the feed, you know. So if I do a few, you know, I think less than 5 is what I found is, less than 5 videos. And usually, sometimes it's just hit and miss which ones will get watched. I'm trying to figure out how to get my old videos to surface back up again. I don't have a brother or sister. I'm an only child, though. Okay, well, yeah, I think that I gotta go now because I'm getting kind of hot.